Hey guys, Chris You're here back from CNH Small Engine again for another quick informative service and review video. We got a Honda machine here today for the actual review video here for you guys. This guy brought me this machine over here about 2 days ago. This is a one of my commercial clients. He claimed he bought this machine because he really liked the actual weight and stuff like that for that. So the reason he brought it over primarily was because he could not get the machine started at all. He kept on saying he's pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling on the machine and simply would not start. And we asked him when the last time he actually had any kind of tune-up work or anything else like that done on the machine, and he said he has not had any kind of tune-up done on the machine since he actually bought it, because he said he bought it, and I think he said he bought it used. I think he bought it at a Honda Honda dealership. They were selling some used or pre-owned machines for a reduced price, because I guess they had somebody you know bring something in that needed work or something, but the person didn't want to have the machines spent to have repaired. So this guy bought this machine for about, I think, about $150, $200 at a Honda dealership, and he brought it to us here this past couple days ago because the thing wouldn't start, as I said before. And we checked it out, and the guy's air filter was completely packed full of debris. We had to put a new air filter in here, and the other thing was they have a newer updated air filter for these machines out here, because they can make two different types. They have this one right here. You even have the Honda, we don't call Honda part number right here on top of it as well too, and you have the actual date when it was actually made right here as well too, because they have two different types of Honda air filters for these machines. They have this one I have right here in front of me here, plus they have the older one called bluish green aquamarine color out there. Certain models take the old one, certain models take the new one, because unfortunately if you try to put a green one in this specific air box, we find out over here that the green one is slightly larger, which means it's pushing out a bit more on here than this one right here. It's I think it might be only a few millimeters, but it is definitely noticeable, because whenever you try to put the green one in place of the pink colored one right here, it doesn't want to latch on the cover right here properly. So whenever you put it in here together, like it is right here, this one latches perfectly fine, nice and tight in here like that. If I try to put a green one in here, even though the air box is perfectly fine, the green one just pushes a bit more on the back right here, and it simply will not allow me to engage it properly, because it'll be pushing out and it'll not want to engage on the two clips up on top right here for that. So we did that. The other thing was the actual spark plug up here was almost carbon black, because as I said before, the air filter inside the box right here was completely packed full of debris, and you also had some oil in there as well too. You always got to make sure your air filter is clean, guys, because if you don't, your engine will be running extremely rich, and when it runs rich, it's going to be sucking a lot more gasoline in out there, and when it sucks more gas, it's going to be burning in the combustion chamber a lot more dirtier and richer, and your spark plug is going to be getting pretty fouled out as well too. So always check your air filter, make sure the air filter is completely clean. I'd say at least once a season. If you cut your grass maybe once or twice a month out there. If you're a commercial guy, I recommend changing your air filter, or at least checking it maybe once or twice a week out there, because some of our commercial clients actually cut their cut yards with the machines, maybe 3 or 4 yards per day out there, and because of that, I recommend having it checked at least once a week out there in order to keep your machine running at optimal condition out there for that. Overall, other than that, the machine's in relatively good shape. You don't have any busted out pieces in the deck on here. Me personally, I really don't like these kind of decks on these machines, specifically because unfortunately, if you hit something in your yard out there, there's a high likelihood that if you do hit something like a metal pipe or some other rock, there's a potentiality of the actual object going straight through the deck and flying out there and possibly hurting somebody. So that's my one safety complaint about this this HRX type of deck right here. Even though Honda claims it's good for weight saving and stuff like that, I personally do not recommend buying it or owning it because of that one safety feature. And in the event that like if you do hit something, whether it's no fault of your own or something else, or like say you loaned it out to a family member or a neighbor, and they hit something in their yard because they couldn't see what was in the yard, and somehow the blade cut a pipe in half, and the actual piping through a deck. That's why I do not recommend owning that kind of a specific deck, because it's plastic, and I don't like plastic on any kind of machines other than what it actually needs to have on or for that specifically. So I do recommend the steel decks. I have my own personal Honda HRX or HRC 216. I absolutely love that kind of deck on mine, but I do not recommend a plastic deck, guys. Sorry about that. So we'll go ahead and get this thing fired up here for you as well too. This thing has the newer design. They call it in the back on here the Honda Select drive on here. They have a redesigned or revised, we want to call control in the back here for your self-propelled right here, guys, too. So rather than having the two little paddles some of the other ones have where you got to push with your thumbs right there, a lot of people I actually talk to do not like those typical design, because it starts hurting your inner thumb area and stuff like that. But you're always pushing down on those two little pads right there, and apparently Honda came up with a better way of having a more, I want to call more uniform design right here, rather than having two little pads on it. So this is a upgraded version from the other little pad design for the actual selector for the drive unit right here for that, guy. So let me fire this thing up here for you and see how it runs. So overall, the machine functions fine. However, as I was saying before, you do have a bit of more, I'm going to call noise, because of the actual deck design. Plus, you got that little bit of a banging. If I don't even heard that banging noise at the end when the thing was actually shutting off, that's not caused by the blades or anything else. That's simply because of the actual vibration with the actual engine design with the actual deck on there itself for that. So if anybody has any comments, questions about this machine, this is the Honda HRX 216 Versa mode machine with a 4-in-1 cutting bagging unit on the front right here as well too. And I'll even give you a shot of the actual model number and the serial number tag as well too, guys. So here you go for reference. I'm gonna zoom in here for you guys. Right there we go. Honda HRX 217K5 VKAA HE on the far right side right there as well too, with a serial number of MAGA-2697640. This is the self-propelled mulch bag 4-in-1. This has the GCV 190 and also has the revised control back here for the self-propelled drive as well too, guys. So that's everything about this machine here. If you want me to go over any kind of other details about this machine, feel free to leave me a message here. And if I missed anything, or if you want some kind of other question answered about this machine, feel free to do so. Here's another side show of the machine. So there you go, guys. I'll see you and have a nice day.